I'm going to give you 3 reasons why you may want to consider the 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee L Summit in bright white with Nappa leather. The third row variant is the best in class with towing capabilities, charging ports in the interior, and ground cleared so you could ford through water. And we have the Quadra Track 2, which makes this a vehicle that you can drive on any terrain. But is it worth over $70,000? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to go over the full specs of the exterior. The interior, we're going to take it for a drive to reveal the 3 reasons why you may want to consider this. And I like to thank Mo here at Courtesy Jeep and Brandon for letting us showcase this new Jeep Grand Cherokee L. Starting in the front, LED headlights, daytime runnings, and we have fog lights set with 8.4 inches of clearance up to 10.9 inches of clearance, fording through water nearly 3 feet. Front and rear parking sensors. This has a 360-degree reverse camera and a frontal camera also. So if you are doing any trail, you can see everything visually with that camera. And the lower gets the glossy black elements. And that's because we have the high altitude package. Now, to throw in some cons to the vehicle is we haven't had a refresh since 2022. In 2023, we stopped having the Hemi available, so we only have a 3.6 liter V6 producing 293 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque. That's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, achieving 18 mpgs for the city and 25 mpgs for the highway, which is not going to be the best in class. But let's face it, this is a vehicle that can get everything done. Quadra Track Drive 2, it's a 4x4 system with a rear electronically limited slip differential. This is going to make off-road basically a breeze because this will send 100% of torque to the wheels that need it the most. You have 5 different driving modes select with the air suspension that you can automatically adjust, with 4 low mode locks for the front and the rear drive shafts for low speed power, rock crawling, and towing. And this system is active all the time, so it doesn't matter the road condition, which the only vehicles you could really compare this against would be like a Bronco going up to a Land Rover, because Infiniti, even Nissan, you're not going to have the same capabilities to take it off-road. Yes, towing is at 6,000 pounds. This is at 6,200 pounds, which is still going to be the best in class. Honda doesn't have something comparable either if you're looking for that ruggedness. Plus, this is a little bit longer, so you're going to have a little bit more cargo capacity than Honda and Toyota, unless you go into a Grand Highlander. Taking me to the first reason why you may want to consider this is because now you don't have to go into the Wagoneer. This slots right in between the Grand Cherokee and that variant, and it's not going to be as long. You're getting third row capabilities. Standard is a 20 by 8.5 fully painted aluminum steel wheel. We have the upgraded 21-inch by 9-inch black painted alloy wheels. Power folding, heated, auto dimming, LED turn signal, side view mirrors get the gloss black. It's also going to surround the top part as well as the door handle. So I like how they do this, and you can unlock and lock the doors simply by putting your hand inside here or pushing the button on both the front and the rear. The badging gets the gloss black, and that's because we have the high altitude package, which gives us the gloss black. But do you think the Jeep Grand Cherokee L brings the value to over $70,000 for a third row SUV? Drop a comment below and let us know. Power liftgate going into 14.5 cubic feet of storage behind the third row. We get the bag holders, 12 volt. Underneath the floor, get some storage, and you get the jack and your spare tires tucked underneath, so it gives you a little bit more storage capacity inside. Now you split fold the rear bench in a 50-50 split by simply pushing the buttons. That's going to increase cargo to 37.7 cubic feet of storage. And to maximize the cargo to 70.8 cubic feet, you do the same thing for those captain seats. I'll fold down to increase the cargo capacity to the Jeep Grand Cherokee L. The key fob to the Jeep Grand Cherokee L Summit. 14-way power seat adjustment, heated, ventilated massage seats, memory for the driver and passenger. Summit is embossed. You get the perforated Nappa leather, and the quilted leather comes into play with the contrast stitch, the piping, and the quilted comes into the door card as well. So I like what they're doing there. We do have the upgraded 19 speakers through McIntosh. And the interior is going to have some tech, so it's a bit tech forward with a 10.1-inch infotainment screen, a digital reader for the gauge cluster. You can see the McIntosh speakers there, auto dimming rear view mirror, LED interior lights with a large pano. Check out the leg space that you have on the passenger side. There isn't any pass-through. Let's fire it up. Now on the infotainment screen, we have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio. This is Uconnect 5, so it's the latest technology. We're going to click into vehicle here, and this is your dashboard layouts for the off-road page. It's a little bit of a glitch, but that's typical with this system. Pitch and roll, this is good whenever you are taking it off-road because you can see everything for there, and you can also see for your terrain response right here. You can adjust the suspension, but you have a physical button here. So you have a lot of physical buttons. All your driving modes select right here. So if you want to do rock crawling, you can do that with this vehicle. Roll it into reverse with a 360-degree reverse camera, full trajectory for the front and the rear, and you can change the camera layouts. This is that frontal camera that I was talking about if you were taking it on the trail, and that's the rear camera where you can just have it as a 360-degree reverse camera. Funny enough, this is the same exact system that is in Maserati. So when you're thinking about what you're getting as a total package, it's pretty awesome in that perspective. Physical buttons for the dual climate control settings. Open this up, and we have the luxury package, which gives us the wireless charging pad. This should be a standard amenity to me instead of having to pay for this and rear sunshades. 12-volt USB. The rocker, I like the design to it, but it doesn't really free up space here. This closes in so it has more of the glossy black. It's soft to touch, opens up for the first tier. It opens up, it's a little bit more deep with 2 more USB. Heated steering wheel, it's multi-function. You get the wood inlays. And because it's a Summit, I'm okay with that, with the paddle shifts. The gauge cluster is a digital reader. You can go through an array of different content for the driver. And the dashboard stays nice and flat, keeping that contrast stitch. Check out the leg space for the driver. Headroom, more than enough. Dashboard and door panel configuring together nicely. It is starting to get a little bit of age in the interior though. The last refresh was back in 2022, so they do need to up some of the materials because it doesn't quite feel as a $70,000 vehicle. We'll touch up and down for all the windows. I'm not going to demonstrate because they just put the tint soft to touch where it needs to be, a long storage pocket and a beverage holder carved out. For the back seats, this is the opening that you have. Now the L is going to extend it and give us a 3rd row. So I like the capabilities that you get there. The manual sunshades, we've already talked about that in the front. The door card, it's going to be the same as the front. So I appreciate that they're bringing the materials from in the front to the back because a lot of companies don't do that. Soft to touch, about the same size storage pocket. The nice thing here is this is already open. So as it ages, this is not going to sag. And you also have these little lips here, air vents on the side. 10.1 screens are going to be on both sides because we have the entertainment package. And this has Fire TV, Wi-Fi. You have your connectivity right here for your HDMI and your headphones. In the pano, it actually comes to the back of my head, so I appreciate that because I could get some vitamin D. Headroom is actually pretty good. Leg space. So while you buy this one, you have a pretty good amount. I would say 4 to 6 inches. You can adjust this forward, and I still kind of sort of have some room because we have this center cluster here, but you're going to have a ton of space for the back occupants doing that. Sliding it all the way back, that's what I mean by space. A ton of it, and you still have a little bit of that, and you can also recline this back. No one's going to be able to fit behind me. Dual climate control settings in the rear, heated rear seats, you get a home plug, 4 USB, cup holders, storage. Open this up, you get storage that can lift out into another storage bin. Now the cool thing about this, if you take that storage bin out and you're in the 3rd row, lift it up, anything that you put in here will be easy accessibility for the 3rd row occupants. Or you can just simply leave that in and it will be sufficient for your own storage in the front, and they'll have their own storage in the back. So I think that's a pretty clever idea what they're doing. Pull the lever here. It's going to adjust up, and look at the space that you have. So if you're thinking maybe I need to go Wagoneer, you may not, because you're going to have a ton of space here to get inside for 2 more adults to fit with cup holders. Charging ports is the #1 thing here because everywhere you go, you're getting at least 4 charging ports. Headroom, it's still good. You sit up a little bit higher than the 2nd row. Slide this back, check out the leg space. about 4 to 6 inches here. But if it's back all the way and reclined, there's no way I can fit. But even with a leg space, you're not gonna share hardly any because the Jeep Grand Cherokee actually does a good job for the third row. 293 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque. A 0 to 60 is around 7 seconds. Let's see what we get. And the brakes. I don't know if you can tell by my screen, but it really does grab, so I appreciate that. Show you some of the maneuverability of this vehicle too. Look at this. That's why you buy a Jeep. It literally just can conquer any terrain, and it's quick too. For a third row SUV, you got around 17 charging ports through the interior of this vehicle. 17. That is insane considering you're only fitting 6 people here. That's more than 2 charging per person in the interior. Ventilated seats, massage seats, the luxury goes above and beyond. This is the second reason why I would consider this myself, because it's such a bang for your buck. Now, cons to the vehicle, they only give you a 3-year warranty, which when you're charging this number, it needs to be a luxury warranty that gives at least 4 years. Now we just have it in auto because there's really no point of racing this type of vehicle. You drive these for some luxury and class. We got 21-inch upgraded wheels. How does it drive on the road and the interior sound? The sound deadening could be a little bit better, especially at this price point. It does have acoustic side windows and the front windscreen. You do sit up a little bit higher and it will adjust depending on the driving mode, so I like that feature. I like that we got the upgraded speakers, but you gotta spend a ton of money in order to do so. And the same thing with the luxury package, it doesn't come standard with a wireless charging pad. At $70,000 plus, some of these features have to be thrown in. I get it, this is not the Summit Reserve, but still, don't just give me some luxury amenities and not the full capabilities. The steering to it has some weight to it, so you will feel some of the imperfections, especially in the drive with these upgraded tires. 20-inch to 21-inch, it's not a huge difference. I wouldn't really be so concerned there. Some other cons to the vehicle is it does drink quite a bit of fuel. The materials in the interior does not feel as premium as the price suggests, and a lot of that is because we haven't had a refresh since 2022. Power-wise is good though. I mean, the 3.6 liter is more than enough. You don't really need to throw a Hemi into this one. It would be nice to have it. I mean, not suggesting not to get one. And unfortunately, this is the only powertrain that they offer too for the vehicle. So when you're looking at slotting in between the Wagoneer and the Grand Cherokee, you want a third row variant that will make the Wagoneer stand out just a little bit more so. Visibility is good. You can see pretty much everywhere. It does feel wide and it does feel a little bit longer. It doesn't feel much heavier when you're mashing on the gas or the brake opposed to the regular Grand Cherokee. So I like that it's still kind of a seamless drive, even though you get more seats and it's a little bit longer. More cargo capabilities. Towing, I kind of wish that that was more at the 7,000 to 8,000 pounds, only because this is the longer variant of the Grand Cherokee. I get it, we have a Wagoneer that gives us basically 10,000 pounds of towing, but it would be nice that this slots in between. Turn radius is about 2 lanes. Let's rock and roll. The engine does come in. The sound deadening, the tech, these are things that need to be really fixed. Plus this interior, because it is looking a little bit dated. This gets a little bit of glitch, and it would be nice to have a little bit more sound deadening. Those are really the big complaints that I have with the Grand Cherokee L because of the price that it illustrates. If this was in the 60 grand price, a lot of this I would say, you know what, it's okay. The nice thing also though is if you go into Jeep, they are giving a lot of discounts. So you could probably score this for right at $60,000, which is about $10,000 of a discount, making this a killer deal. Taking me to the last reason why you may want to consider this is because it is the best in class with headroom, legroom for the first, second, and third row, plus plenty of cargo capacity. This is one of the only SUVs in class that can get the job done for anything, whether it's on pavement or off. But is it worth over $70,000? For me, I think you're getting a lot of vehicle for your money, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out this next video right here.